All right, my name is Chris Nelson. I'm from the Wet'suwet'en Nation, House of Namoks, Sayu clan. I have grandparents from Masset, Giddenmax, and Kingold. I was born and raised here in Prince Rupert. My journey started 2011 when I was exposed to my first teacher, Pete Thompson, who is Mohawk from Ontario, but he took a wife a long time ago in Skidegate, where he resides now with his family. When I started my journey, I was not in a good place. I was not anywhere near balanced. Where I was deep in addiction, deep in low vibration, and just overall not a very good person all of the time. Okay, I was a good person at some points, but there are a lot of points where I was not. So what happened with me when I first started my journey, so the last person seating has to tell a joke. How about that? Okay? So today, 14 years on to my journey, I'm a sun dancer, pipe carrier, knowledge keeper, and a traditional helper. And that's the only thing I call myself today, is a traditional helper. We do have people here who have earned the title of shaman. We have people here who have earned the title that they carry. I identify as a traditional helper, and my late teacher, some of you may be familiar with Many Horses. Okay, when Many Horses was teaching me, he was my second teacher after Peter Thompson. What ended up happening was that Many Horses gave me a gift and asked me to walk with him. And this is a man that the entire Western world was trying to become his student, but it doesn't work that way. So when he gave me a gift and asked me to be his teacher, that was the true beginning of my journey. Because as much as I loved my first teacher, all the ceremonies he given me were for other people. They were for other people. This is a ceremony to help this situation. This is a ceremony to help that situation, but there's nothing from my heart. And I knew that when I started my journey, that this was my intention. This is why I got into learning the old ways, because my heart needed help. You know, a little bit a back history of who I was, let's say what I was shown to be acceptable behavior growing up, right? There's a lot of our people that were in a very similar situation. You know, you grow up in a place where addiction is what is modeled for you. Violence is what was modeled for you, okay? And this is the same for our people all over the world, right? It's not unique to our people, but this was the norm for a long time. What I didn't know when I started my journey was that both of my grandmothers came from healing lines. So when I asked my first teacher, I asked him, you know, I would like to learn these ways from you. He said, I'll give you one piece of homework before we start. And that's go and ask your family permission to learn this way. Ask them permission to walk this way. And he says, if you get one objection, then I'm not going to teach you, because I'm only teaching you if it's for the highest good. So I did. Every family member I could visit in person, I went to see them in person. All those that I couldn't I phoned him and I told him my intention. I said, this is my new path, right? And in saying that, our entire family, we all had a routine every Friday night. We didn't even have to plan to go out. We just met, right? So we go from me being one of them my whole life to this is my new journey, right? I anticipated resistance. I anticipated people like, well, we kind of like this version of you. This version of you is the one that is most like us, right? This version of you, this traumatized version of you, this low vibrational version of you, this is the one we know and love. I anticipated resistance. What I got were all the stories of all the healers in our bloodline. The stories of generations ago, the healers helping people. What I got was from the younger generations, younger than me, they were telling me about our late granny, the late Evelyn. She was telling us as children how to use our gifts. She was telling us, watch that wall. Watch that wall right there. They're poking their head out. They're being playful with you. Watch them. Some of the kids saw it. I didn't see it. I didn't realize that she was trying to expand our gifts for us. I didn't realize that she was trying to make us okay with the things that we saw in the dark, the things that we heard, right? We got 5 different senses, and everybody here has one of those senses heightened more than the other, right? For me, I could feel. I know when people are genuine. I know when people are on their path. I know when they're truthful. I know when they're ready. Right? When I started my journey, going back to that conversation with my teacher, he says, call me back in 2 weeks if you could stay away from everything that you're walking with right now. The alcohol, the gambling, the drugs, right? If you could stay away from that for 2 weeks, then we'll talk. I said, I'm not going to call you in 2 weeks. I'm ready now. I had no exposure to spirituality before meeting this man. I didn't know what smudging was. I didn't know what support was, right? I didn't know how to express my emotions, let alone process them, right? And that's the thing I recognize today in our men. The work I do today is I help people with their hearts. I help them understand their traumas. And ultimately, what we do through this work is we make our community safer by making our men safer. The reason that this road is so important to me, the reason why we work so hard to put this platform together, is because all of our communities need this help. All of our communities need people who are ready to stand up. All of our communities need support, right? Even for those that are ready to stand up, they need support to stand, because this road is the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. When you're put in a position to help, you're also put yourself in a position to heal yourself, right? Even to put this event together, is a very, very difficult path for me. I shared with a couple of you that 1 week ago today, I was running around town getting everything ready for this, and I had to pull over 4 times and just bawl. What was going on was I was being forced to heal before I came and presented, before I came and spoke to you. right? All these things I was processing, I needed to let out. And I'm very, very blessed to have those teachers that I could call. They walked me through every single little breakdown I had, right? Because this road is hard, but it's worth it. We do the tough work, we do the difficult work, and the people that benefit are the people around us. Because we're safe. We're becoming balanced. Okay? The reason why we do what we do is because there were people there for us. There were people there to teach us. There are people there that even if we had to travel a long way to get this perspective, we went for it. I go to Saskatchewan every single summer for Sundance. I go and I learn and I pray. That's not saying that everybody has to do that, but what you do have to do is be open to the perspective of others. Because if you pray for help, you pray for this road to be clear for you. You have to be open to the things that you see. Because one of the first prayers that we make when we start a healing journey is to see ourselves. Right? You're going to see yourself and everybody around you. You're going to see all the things you don't like. You're going to see all the things you do like. But this is where it starts. It's hard. But you have support. You have people who have done their healing. You have people who are on their journey for a long time. There are people who have been exactly where you are right now. As much as it sucks, as much as it struggles. You have people who could get you through it. Sometimes it's one conversation. One conversation. Right? And then you go on to the next one. And that's the beautiful thing about healing. Is it's never ending. But the understanding that you acquire even through a conversation, because from my perspective, the key to healing is understanding. And this is why we have to be open. We have to be open to the perspective of others, because we're not going to find understanding if we're closed to it. We're not going to find understanding if our ego's in the way. How many times have you been in a position where somebody says it's time to smarten up, and instantly you're just like, no thanks, I'm good. Right? Because we're in that low vibration. Fear shows up in many ways on our healing journey. We don't know how difficult or how bumpy that road is. We don't know what's on the other side of that void. So we just stay in our little pockets, our little air bubble. I want to share a little bit about the energy, because I do work with people who are ready to shed the energy of alcohol. Okay? The energy of alcohol. At first I'll say that we all have an entourage of spiritual helpers. We have guides, we have protectors, angels. Those are with us all the time. And as we take on different understandings, or different undertakings in our journey, we will get more. More will join us and they'll assist us. So how addiction works is when they introduce themselves to us, they're shadows. Sometimes they're small. But when they speak to us, we receive it up here. When our angels speak to us, our guides speak to us, we receive it in our heart. That's intuition. Right? We receive it here. So when these things that we indulge in, these shadows show up and they start walking with us. Depending on the severity of the